Spooky, scary skeleton.
It's one day after Halloween.
And in the spirit of Halloween, I've decided to do something truly, truly spooky. And actually make a new video. Now when it came to games that I was going to play for this video, I had a lot of ideas floating around in my head. One of which was Five Nights at Freddy's, but then I remembered that the scariest thing about that game is the convoluted storyline, so I gave that one a pass. And I eventually settled on Gregory House for the PlayStation 2. Now I have mentioned this game in a past episode about the top 10 nostalgic video game songs, but I didn't really go into depth with the game, it was just about the music. So I thought, hey, you know what, for Halloween, why don't we try and go in depth into this game? And I also love this comment I got today. I looked at video of Gregory House and it was a not nice game. You know, that's actually how this game was marketed in Europe. Gregory House, a not nice game. And let's see how much this game can scare us. You know, it's a horror game. It's got horror in the title. Right there. Boom. Do you need me pointing out to you? Here's more arrows. Hello and welcome to Michael's brand new section, Plots in 30 seconds or less. Our sponsors are saying, imagine the blooper reels. And we are. So basically you're wandering through this forest one night and you don't know where you are and you stumble across a hotel called Gregory House. No resemblance of course to the character Gregory House from the Fox drama House. You go in and this mouse is all like, hey, do you want a room for the night? And you're all like, yes, absolutely, weird anthropomorphic mouse. What could possibly go wrong? And then you fall asleep and you see Death and he's all like, whoa buddy, no, you need to get out of here. I can show you the way out, but only if you help me back in return. You see what I'm saying? He explains that I need to go and collect all 12 of the hotel guest souls and deliver them to Death when I sleep. But as soon as I take a guest soul, they're out to get me. And if they catch me, they'll kill me. Sound fun? Absolutely, let's go! Oh yeah, and Death is also apparently from Sweden. I think PewDiePie's got some explaining to do! And with that, we are dropped right into the game. Alright, so we appear to be in our hotel room. I don't know about you guys, but my favourite way to start a game personally is via very loud shrieking. Oh, look at that. It gave us a little subtitle at the bottom of the screen in case we didn't hear it. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, it's not. I think the only person who didn't hear it is that guy. Look at his face. He gave no reaction whatsoever. Boy, this guy would be great in an emergency. Help me, please. Somebody help me. Help me. I'm sensing a disturbance. So we go next door and we find a little cat shackled up in the corner of a dark, cold room. Learning that the cat is called Neko Zombie. Neko, of course, being the Japanese word for cat, and zombie, of course, being the English word for zombie. We speak to Gregory at the front desk and we learn that someone sewed everything shut. Neko Zombie's eyes, mouth, ears, everything. Honestly, who would do such a thing? Gregory! Gregory did it! He's the guilty one! So after we finish talking to Gregory, we have to grab the key behind the counter, go back and open the door to Neko Zombie's room. Once we're in there, Neko Zombie tells us that to get the guest souls, we need to learn their weaknesses. Neko Zombie's weakness is food. Sorry, but that just sounds like a tweet from one of those tweet like a girl Twitter accounts, doesn't it? So he gives, is Neko Zombie a girl or a boy? I honestly have no idea. So then he gives us a test and asks us to spy through the keyhole of his door to listen in on him talking to himself about his favourite food. He says it's a dessert that's sweet and not too cold. The options he gives us are banana, ice cream, lemon, chocolate, mobile phone and crisps.
One of these things is not like the others.
And the only one that fits all the criteria is chocolate, so it must be that one. It is, and Neko Zombie just gives us his soul. Of course the rest won't be that easy, as he explains. And we're introduced to the next guest that we have to defeat, Catherine. Catherine. Alright, it's a very straightforward name. Let's have a look at Catherine.
Time for a blood test. Oh, this is so good. Oh.
That was unnecessarily seductive. Neko Zombie is actually one of the very few people in the game who, if you take the soul from, they won't want to kill you. Catherine, on the other hand, is not so friendly and she will want to... She's got a big syringe, I'll leave the rest up to you. And once you recover all 3 guest souls on a night, it moves on to the next night. And this game actually has 5 nights, so I think we can all agree this game was the original Five Nights at Freddy's. Scott Cawthorne, you thief! But as long as you can look past the weird seductive lizard, which I know is really hard to do, this game actually has some great moments. Some of the guests are really well designed, such as Hell's Chef, who I honestly can't even say for certain isn't Gordon Ramsay, I'm just saying.
It's rotten!
As well as guests like Lost Doll, who has, as the name implies, lost her doll. But the clever twist here is that she is actually the doll that she's lost. She has two faces, and she turns around and that's the doll that she's lost. She's trying to find herself? Is this some weird existential crisis or something? But there are guests that are very, very laughable or poorly designed. For example, TV Fish is literally just a TV on a fish. He just swims around the hotel, he says nothing, and is generally very derpy, but also really cute and lovable, and I love him. I'm gonna take him home and have him as my pet fish, except if I put him in the fish tank, he'd explode because he's TV. So you can't put electricals in water, so he'd just explode and then he'd die, and then I'd be very sad and have to go to his funeral. Oh, poor TV Fish! I've actually heard a rumour from TV Fish that you can actually summon him by knocking on the jukebox in the bar. So, let's try that, I guess.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog.
And then there's a guest that's literally called My Son, and the only reason I can think of that he's called My Son is because his father goes, "This is my son," but he's not actually saying that he's his son, he's saying that this is my son, that is literally his name. He's just go around calling his dog my dog. Hello, this is my dog. Don't talk to me or my son ever again. But the ways that you have to get these guest souls are the real reason that I love this game so much. There's so much variety in this game. For example, you have guests like Lost Doll and TV Fish where you literally just have to go and buy her doll, give her it back, or buy some batteries so you can put them in a remote and like point it at TV and it kills him. I guess you just killed him, I don't know. Hell Chef is definitely my favourite character in this game though, and the way you get his soul is by overflowing his pot with random rubbish. Literally anything you can find around the hotel, just put it in his pot, and then he gets so mad that you messed up his food, he chases you around the hotel. So you have to lure him into the storeroom where a draft blows out the flame on his head. And Gregory comes in, all like, "Hey, what'd you do to this guy? What'd you blow out the flame on his head for, you stupid idiot? You can't do that, not me," you go. And then they both walk out. Like, just, there's a soul right there. Like, your soul is on the, do you not see that? But aside from collecting the guest souls each night, the game does have an underlying storyline. Basically, Gregory's mother, who is creatively named Gregory Mama, feeds on the guest souls to stay young and beautiful. So when you're taking them all back, she has nothing to feed on, so essentially, you are killing her. But you don't know this, obviously, because you don't even know she exists at this point in the game. I mean, your character doesn't know she exists, you as a player know she exists, because you get treated to great cutscenes such as this.
Stop dallying and get them back. Yeah, you screeching old banshee. Just stop.
And she's all like, "Okay, stop a minute, stop everything, I'm gonna die." So she basically just traps you in the hotel, and she is the final boss. She basically traps you down in the dungeon, and you've got to make your way back through an empty hotel and finally face off with her in a final battle. And it sounds kind of cheesy and rubbish, but at that time it's like, it's really spooky and intense, and the music just, oh, it's gorgeous. I love it. And I understand this game looks a bit cartoony and a bit weird, but honestly, when you're an 11-year-old boy and there are like 12 guests around the hotel that could possibly kill you, and you have to avoid every single one of them while still trying to work out how to beat the game, it becomes a lot more scary. And trust me, I would recommend if you can get a copy of this game, it is well worth a play. Unfortunately, they never released it in North America, so if you live there, I have no idea what to tell you. But if you live in Europe or Japan, go for it. You can probably find it on Amazon for a relatively cheap price, I assume. One day I really hope to be able to do a let's play of this game, because it is honestly probably my second favourite game of all time. That sounds a bit weird, right? But honestly, I just played it and it's been a game that's stuck in my mind since I played it, and I've loved it ever since. Yeah, Gregory Horror Show for the PlayStation 2. What a weird game to do a review on. What a weird game to have as my second favourite game of all time. I don't even know where this game came from. I just found it one day, like in a shop, and I'm like, "That looks cool, can I have that?" And my mother was like, "Michael, what are you doing? Why are you buying this game? Look at this, look at it. Do you really want this game? Look at that mouse. Is that really something we want in our home? Come back here, Michael. Ow, ow." Just stop.